Welcome back, YouTubers, to episode 2, How to Get a Fucking Cool Epic Sword by Level 8. This is your host, General Mayor McCheese, and I'm going to go over with you how to go ahead and obtain the Drake Sword. Basically, what you're going to need for this is going to be a bow. I bought 170 arrows at first, but I've been working on this, and then as I was looking to acquire this weapon, I figured it would be nice to share with you all how to obtain the weapon yourself. I don't see too many people getting this sword, which I don't know why. It's a pretty epic level sword for low level. I guess a lot of people just try to rush to the higher levels, but I try to take my time and understand the lore with the game, so yeah, I would recommend this weapon from anywhere to a spellcaster to a warrior, a class of sorts. The sword is going to be a Drake weapon, but the damage on it is standard at 200 without any bonuses. And I usually won't upgrade this sword, but it will take me pretty much all the way up to Anor Londo, and that's when it starts to become a problem as far as the weapon goes. Um, as far as wanting to go ahead and upgrade, but at that time you're going to run into the blacksmith where you can level yourself up to, I believe it's 6, and then add an effect onto your weapon. So, anyways, the key to obtaining the Drake Sword is going to be that you're going to want to um, run past the bridge after talking to Solaire in the very beginning, and then you're going to want to go under the bridge, and midway through the bridge, rather, you're going to find an area where you can run down. My recommendation before you start this process would be to kick the ladder down to the bonfire, just because it's safer than sorry. It's better safer than sorry. But once you go ahead and kick that bridge down, you're going to find that you can run back up the stairway and out through the door, and you'll see where I'm standing at right now, which is going to be the base where you'll be able to see the dragon's tail. Now, if you notice throughout this video, I'm not taking a chance when he flies onto the bridge with shooting and wasting an arrow. I've tried that approach before. It's a waste of time, so I'd rather my arrow just sit loaded where it's at, fully ready to go for when he lands back up on the high top on the bridge. Now, another key piece of information that you'll need is going to be that he does heal himself, so you don't want to run out of arrows. You want to make sure that you have plenty stockpile. I'm using the standard arrows. The wood arrows to me are too shitty. The standard arrows do well, and the large arrows are too expensive at low level. Right now, I believe I've leveled myself up to about 3 or 4. But depending on your class, you're going to need a little bit more into levels, just because the strength required to wield the weapon is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, 16 strength. And then of course you're going to want your bow, which I believe is going to be 12 dexterity. So there's a couple of points there. Plus I just put in points in general to make sure vitality's up there, endurance, things like that. You are completely safe at this point in terms of any effects that he casts or anything like that. Now, that being said, if you do at some point get the sword once his tail drops and you go on the bridge, you'll be fighting him fresh, I believe. I've never tried that attempt, just because after I kill or cut the tail off, I have the weapon that I need, and I've never needed to actually destroy him. Um, but that said, if that's something that you do, just to make it a little easier crossing the bridge and things like that, just know that after you destroy the tail, he will likely be still at full health, just because of his regen. So at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to keep firing the arrow. It does take a while, but once he drops it, then you're going to either want to go back to the bonfire, level up your stats accordingly to be able to wield the weapon, or you can continue on under the bridge to the knight on the tower, past the rats, past this bridge, and continue on with the storyline. Or what I do is typically I will go back for Havel after I've acquired this sword. To me, going after Havel with the starting weapon or any other weapon that you obtain early on is pretty much suicide. Havel is a one-hit kill. I'll be making a video on how I do against him with the Drake sword. Maybe later on I'll do a comparison video, but I really don't have the the patience or the endurance to try to go after Havel while I don't have the Drake sword, just because it's not enough damage to measure up against Havel, or at least the patience. I guess the match, as long as you can roll out of the way and dodge his attack, then endurance really isn't an issue. But so right now he's probably at about 80% before the tail falls off. Going through the video, doing the editing and everything, I believe his tail fell off around 80, maybe 90 arrows. So that's kind of what I use as the counter, although that's hard because it varies based on stats. So pretty soon it's going to fall off, and then I will show you the area to get to the bonfire, what I was talking about. In addition to that, we'll find that I thought I had 16 strength in, but I only had 15, so I will probably stop the video after I get to the bonfire, just because that demonstrates exactly where to go. And you guys don't need to see me grind all the way up to obtaining one more level. But I do want you guys to be able to see where the closest bonfire is. That way, those of you who are either new to Dark Souls or it's been a long time since you've played, it might be a little bit of a refresher. But I'm going to, at this point, just let the video go until it is time to acquire the leveling, and I will check back in with you guys. Okay, so right there, as promised, you're going to see the Dragon Sword, or the Drake Sword, excuse me. It is a vast improvement over what I have currently. It's a little heavier. If you're a melee class or a casting class, I recommend grabbing Havel's Ring just so that armor and equipment load is a little bit easier to manage, and that way you don't have to put as much in the stats as you have to. Right now I'm heading back to the bonfire to go ahead and just rest up, as well as at this point in time I did figure out that I did not have enough into my strength in order to have it wielding properly. And I don't, whether it be from mistake or just wanting a little bit of a challenge, I did go ahead and wield the weapon while trying to harvest souls or to farm souls, just because, well, like I said, I don't know whether it was error or just wanted a little bit of challenge. I think at first I just forgot to, and then I figured it was kind of fun to give myself a little bit extra of a challenge. But other than that, that's it for now. And I appreciate your guys' feedback, your support, emails, everything. If you have any other questions about the sword or anything in general having to do with Dark Souls, please don't hesitate to email me, comment, at just any way that you can ask. I'm more than happy to go over any questions that you have about Dark Souls. Later on, I'll be posting some boss fights, just to be able to help out. The Witch of Izaloth, I'm butchering that, is going to be posted online, just because I found that to be a relatively easy fight, but complicated if you've never done it before. So, like I said, please like, subscribe, leave comments, anything at all. I certainly do enjoy them, and I hope everyone takes care. Talk to you soon.